now we're going to look at trinomials. Trinomials is an equation, an expression with a power of 2. So the general form of a trinomial is ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are numbers, and x squared and x is always going to be there. Okay, they could be positive or negative numbers. We're going to look at the first thing when a is equal 1. So when in front of x squared there are no other numbers than 1. Okay, so on those particular one, when there is 1 in front of x squared, what we need to do is find two numbers that timed together will give you the number on its own, and the same two numbers added together will give the number in front of x. So if we look at all the options of that timed together will give you 16, the options are 1 and 16, 2 and 8, and 4 and 4. Which combination of numbers can make 10? And this is the only one. Okay, because this one will never make 10 and this one will never make 10 either, even if we switch signs. So it doesn't matter which one you use first. We use two brackets, and so they're both positive to make 10, and so plus 2 plus 8. And then again you can check by expanding brackets. X times x, x squared, x times 8 is 8x, 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 8 is 16, so this is only x squared. The only x's are those. This one is 16 and you go back to that. Okay, so yes, we were right, the one is the correct answer. Okay, now this one, let's do this one. X squared plus 8x plus 15. What are the options of getting 15? What are the factors of 15? The pairs of factors 1 and 15, 3 and 5. Which pair can make 8? 3 and 5 is the only option. So that's going to be x plus 3, x plus 5. Okay, right, let's move on to some a little bit different because of the negative number, right? So what are the options on making minus 30? So if there's, first of all, we have to make minus 30. So for a number to be negative, one of the factor has to be positive and one of the factor has to be negative. So when you time them together you get negative answer, negative 30. So the factors of 30 are 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6. And remember, one of them has to be positive, one of them has to be negative. So which pair of numbers, this or that, can make 7? Knowing that the numbers have to be one positive, one negative, the only option is 10 and 3. And because that has to be positive 7, we are going to use, sign-wise, we're going to use positive 10 and negative 3. Because if you add them together, you get positive 7. And if you time them together, you get negative 30. So that's going to be x minus 3, x plus 10. Okay, doesn't really matter which one you use, what order you use. You can have a plus 10 there and a minus 3 there, and it is perfectly fine. Right here, x squared plus 3x minus 40. That is, to make 40 will be 1 and 40, and again has to make negative 40, so one has to be positive, one has to make it negative. 2 and 20, 4 and 10, and 5 and 8. Okay, to make 3, this is the only option, because that make maximum 6 of 14, this one 22 or 18 and so on. So to make positive 3 we have to use positive 8 and negative 5. If we would use the other way around, and negative 8 and positive 5, if you add them together the answer will be negative 3, not positive 3. Okay, so that's not an option. So positive 8, negative 5. Okay, last two examples on this particular one will be this. What are the options to make to have a 3? 1 and 3 is the only factors as a prime number, right? We have to make a minus 4. So how should we use those numbers to get negative 4 as a sum? So if you add them together, if we just add 1 and positive 1 and positive 3, if we add them together we get positive 4. This is negative 4, so it is not going to work. So the only way to make negative 4 to add them, when we add them, will be minus 1 plus minus 3 will give you minus 4, and if you time minus 1 times minus 3, your answer is going to be positive 3. So those two numbers work for both product and sum. So that is going to be x minus 1, x minus 3. Similar story for this, 35. To make 35, we have the factors of 35 are 1 and 35. Where's 5 and 7? Now we have to make a minus 12, so them two will never make minus 12. This one could make 12. So if we add them both positive, will make positive 12. We need to make a negative 12, so both of them has to be negative. If you add them together, we'll get minus 12. If you times them together, you get positive 35. So x minus 5, x minus 7. Okay, and now we get to the last session, the last option of